Hey there, John with Dallas Drainage Pros. So the job we are on right now is a full basement waterproofing project, and it's very involved, very meticulous. The details are absolutely critical when it comes to a project like this. We just can't afford any mistakes. So I'm going to walk you through the process, show you what we do and why we do it. So this is a concrete poured basement. You can see the level of the property is such, and they excavated down in this mostly caliche bedrock to install a basement. So it recently rained, so it's holding water. One good indication that we're going to need a French drain, obviously, but the process here is cleaning off the surface of the concrete. You can see, and I'll show you in just a sec, the holes that are on the concrete after they pull the forms off, but those have to be filled, and we need to create a smooth surface to waterproof. So you can see right here what I'm talking about. There's just air pockets basically that develop when the concrete's poured, and it's an inevitable occurrence, but that has to be filled. So we're going to come in with a sandy concrete that will fill those and make this surface smooth and ready for a liquid applied waterproof membrane. Another thing that we asked the question on, why is there a ledge here? So a lot of times during construction, the ledge is there for installing bricks in front, but there are going to be no bricks because this will be underground. So there actually was no purpose for this ledge. The problem with it is that it basically creates a place for water that could sit, and because it was two pours, there's actually a micro seam here between the two pieces of concrete. So a lot of potential for water penetration there. What we want to do is eliminate the corner and create an even slope. So we're going to come in with concrete. We're going to clean up, wash off, prep the area, and add concrete at a 45-degree angle so that we have a nice good slope. Basically, we'll end up waterproofing the wall, covering the concrete, and then we're going to go all the way down to the footer. Some engineer designs allow that the pipe is installed just below or at the depth of the wall, but we want to get below the basement foundation itself. So the beam is about 2 feet deep. That means our starting point for the French drain is going to be about 2.5. And by the time it gets to the sump pump, which will be over here, we're talking 3-4 feet below the standard level for the French drain pipe. Anyway, lots more to come, a lot more to this project, but we are getting started and excited to see this come together. This is just more of the prep I was talking about, taking a wire brush and just getting rid of pieces of concrete that are brittle and break off easily. We don't want to waterproof a surface that is unstable, so we're basically sanding this down to its core and allowing us to have a perfect surface that we can waterproof efficiently. We are just about finished with the concreting of this ledge. We're going to come back tomorrow after it's dry with patchcrete and make that a seamless, smooth finish. This side needs to go up a little bit higher to get that 45+ degree slope. Really want to eliminate any corners for easy, quick elimination of water. But looking really good. Great progress in just one day. We are currently applying a layer of very smooth patchcrete to fill in the air pocket holes. So holes like that are left over after the forms are pulled, coming through and making a smooth surface that is ready for the liquid applied waterproofing membrane. So you can see this is the end result. very, very smooth. This is perfect. This right here, pretty much ready to go. That 45, eliminating the 90-degree angle is perfect. We're gonna do the same along the foundation beam. Get those little pieces chipped out so it goes straight down, right to our French drain pipe. Looking really good. All right, so we are about to apply the liquid waterproofing membrane. The concrete surface has been prepped sufficiently. We've got a 45 or better degree angle, eliminating that what formerly was a corner. We've dug down below the beam of the foundation, and so that's gonna help reduce the moisture that's underneath the basement, not just what's along the side. So depth matters. We are going down very deep. We had to trench a lot of this with a jackhammer. You can see all the caliche bedrock. It's not easy, but man, does it matter. We are just touching up a couple of small spots, and then we'll be rolling on that membrane. All that work so that we can have good slope beneath the foundation. Liquid membrane being applied. Easy peasy when all the prep work is done correctly. Looking good. Well, we've got liquid applied waterproofing membrane in place at or above 60 mil thickness. What I'm wanting to show you is that some bubbles appeared after it had dried. You can see them there, and smaller ones are not a big deal, but the bigger ones could pop, and then we'd have a puncture, and that would be a problem. So what we're doing is going back through and removing the bubbles and putting extra thick waterproofing around each of the removed bubbles. That happened mostly because it was on the west wall, and the heat can cause the membrane to act like that. This side looks perfect. We've got the 45 waterproofed all the way down to the base of the foundation beam. Right now we're just prepping the sump pump hole to get ready to install the pit. Looking really good. Well, we have got some dimple board going on. This is looking really good. These corners are a little bit tough, but we are working our way through. We've got this going past the wall all the way down to the bottom of the footer. This is top-notch waterproofing and drainage. It's going above and beyond engineer spec, to be honest. Man, this looks good. Got Zach over here getting some footage. What's going on? Got Angel over here making sure the guys are doing it right. And the guys working very hard. Here, this is the term bar that we put at the top, and it will ensure that the dimple board doesn't peel away from the waterproofing. They've got the term bar over there. We are doing the final trenching to get that proper slope, and it is pure rock down here, so it's basically a jackhammer and a shovel and a lot of hard work, but it is looking great. These guys are doing awesome. You can see just how deep we end up since our starting point's below the beam. By the time we get to the pump, we are way down there, and this is pure rock, so water's gonna be funneled right to this pipe and go directly into that pump and out to the creek. So one thing I wanted to point out is this turn. So this wall has several turns, and you might expect to see that the pipe goes this way up against the foundation and cuts this way and cuts that way. Well, that creates multiple 90-degree turns. Even if we use double 45s to make them sweeping and all the rest, that many turns can eventually cause a camera or jetter hose to stop passing through. So we want to reduce our turns as much as possible. The key here is that this pipe is the lowest spot next to the foundation. So what we're going to do is put a little bit more dirt right here before we put the fabric down, and that'll create a slope towards the pipe, so we have everything draining right here. That's the goal. We are almost finished installing the French drain pipe and getting ready to pour on the drainage rock. So this extra layer of fabric that you see, we just lightly attach it to the dimple board so it can be folded over. This can be folded over, and we create that French drain system with this pipe as the base. You don't see any holes in this pipe, but that's because they're at 4 and 8 o'clock. So there's definitely a hole there. There's definitely a hole right there. So they're on either side. See it there. So there's a channel all the way along the bottom that runs that water. The other thing is the slope. So I checked every few feet, and we look really, really good. So I don't know if you can see that, how clear that's coming through, but that bubble indicates which direction it's flowing. So the bubble's to the right, which means we've got flow to the left, which is what we want if we're going down to the sump pump. Show you right here, they are just getting that fabric in place. Doing a quick shot of some glue. It'll help hold the fabric up so it's out of the way while we pour in the gravel here in just a bit. But it's definitely a group effort here. Got the French drain pipe in that fabric, so it's kind of complicated working around all the different components to the system. We got our pit basin for the pump installed. It's a 20-foot, 24-inch wide internal depth, or width rather, ADS double wall pipe, and we poured a very thick concrete base and then inserted this pipe into that. And what that does is seal the bottom so we don't have sediment leaking into the basin, and then locks it in place as we backfill. Today's the day that we install the gravel and start working on the backfill. This is the drainage rock that's going to go around the PVC pipe. So this will be our French drain pipe. This is very clean, 2-inch, 1 to 2 inch clean crushed concrete. It's a perfect substrate and aggregate used to accomplish what we want, which is all these air gaps to allow water to filter right through to the pipe. And then we've got a mixed native gravel. This is basically a large pea gravel. We don't necessarily recommend this for a French drain, but it's good for a backfill and is a little softer on the dimple board. So we like to use a round rock because it's less tough on the fabric. The fabric we use for our French drains is 4 to 4.5 ounce, and the fabric that comes on the dimple board is only a 3 ounce. So it's a little lighter for our taste, and so we want to be a little bit more delicate with it, which is why we pay a little extra for the native gravel instead of the crushed concrete, which only goes inside the 4 to 4.5 ounce fabric. All right, we are installing the gravel for the French drain. We got more pea gravel coming in that semi truck. Guys are working hard. We are getting close. Most of the French drain is installed. Getting creative here with plywood to help protect the gravel drops so that it slides into the trench. Because the bucket on that skid steer is not far enough to reach where it needs to go, so that was smart. They are really getting after it, trying to get this gravel evenly distributed. Not an easy task. Looking really good. All right, we've got ourselves a couple of cleanouts on this end. We'll have 2 at the pump so we can clean either direction, inspect either direction. This is just added security. An important part of backfilling is soil compaction. So running over it with heavy machinery is good, but also adding water is a critical part that releases air pockets that would otherwise cause collapsing later on. So the French drain portion is finished. We are folding the fabric over, sealing up that system, independent from everything else. It's our main drainage for this basement. So gluing that piece together, and then we'll attach another piece, and that fabric will go all the way up so that we can backfill with gravel on this side and dirt on this side. Just wanted to show you real quick. So this is our French drain. It's been covered over. That's the drainage rock underneath that. So that's been encapsulated. And then basically this additional piece is glued to that piece so that we have a seamless fabric wall to keep the soil separated from the gravel, which is being added on top, like such. It is all action, all hands on deck. We are backfilling with gravel and soil, gravel against the drainage board, dirt on the other side of the filter fabric. Running 2 skid steers simultaneously. That way this thing goes up evenly. You can see it takes everybody. Guys holding the plywood, fabric, moving the dirt. Here we come with some more gravel. So you can see what they're doing right there with the plywood is they're trying to angle it in such a way that it directs the gravel up against the dimple board. Now we'll come in with some soil. Hold it up on the other side. This is the water part of the backfill process. With each layer of dirt, we add water. This allows the dirt to release air pockets and to collapse in such a way that it'll be a stable backfill. Just a lot of progress today. That was about 8 feet deeper yesterday. And we are wrapping up for the day, getting ready to install the sump pumps. That's the pipe right there for those. But beautiful gravel backfill separated by this 4.5 ounce fabric. This is looking really good. We are just about finished with the hardest parts of this job. Awesome stuff. Well, this project is coming to a close. We're just doing some final grade work, getting the sump pumps installed. We'll use temporary fittings on the outside so it's easily disconnected in case that pipe's in the way. This is way early in the construction phase. There's still probably a year's worth of work left to be done. So protecting this portion is, you know, a big part of the install. But great effort on the part of everyone. They worked really, really hard and pushed to get this done in a timely manner. Very proud of them, and as always impressed by their hard work and dedication.